We're going to talk about LinkedIn audience expansion. So I'm going to go into our cold ads here. I went into a campaign group and then the campaign, and then these are the ads. So I'm going to go into this one that's running and we're going to look at audience. And today we are going to talk about this little option right here, enable audience expansion. So if you hover over, or I guess you have to click it now. If you click it, it'll come up with a description. Reach people who are similar to your target audience based on attributes like job titles, companies, or skills. So in my professional experience, you should probably not select this box. And I don't think there are very many reasonable cases where I would recommend that you check this box. So what it does is it takes the audience that you have selected. So in this case, I have a series of job titles. I have geography. I have also member interests, industry, company sizes, and I have exclusions. If I were to check this box, what it does is it allows LinkedIn some leeway to expand the audience past what you have set, the boundaries past what you have set. So this 690,000 that I currently have, which is actually a pretty decently big audience. You know, we've worked with 20,000, 30,000, 90,000, 150 is a decent chunk. 690 is actually on the big end, and that would probably be controversial in some circles, but we'll ignore that. It would take the 690K results that I currently have, and it would probably double or triple it. And it would, kind of squint its eyes and say, this kind of looks similar to what you're going after, and it would take leeway. And basically, in my mind as a marketer, one of the things I found to be true on almost every platform that I've ever used is that the platform suggestions optimize to whatever helps you spend the most money. It may come as a shocking heartbreak, but they are not your best friend. They are not here to help you get the best results, although they can be, helpful and release features, and they do listen to their base. For the most part, if you were to optimize based on all of their suggestions all the time, you would spend a lot of money, which is what they want, and you wouldn't get the best results, which is not what you want. So in my experience, I would not check enable audience expansion. The very few times that I've ever used it would be there was a very, very small group of people. They were really hard to find, very specific, like scientific research type positions. The audience size was minute, maybe, 5, 8, 9,000. And so with the parameters that I felt good about, we could hammer that group, but they also weren't the most active people online. So we gave it some leeway. We said, okay, the cost per clicks and the impressions, it's just not going to make sense for such a tiny group. So let's allow LinkedIn to expand the audience to similar profiles and see if we can have any luck there. And in that regard, it actually wasn't too terrible. I think it did allow us to get some results that we wouldn't have gotten. And the only other, I like to play devil's advocate. So the other benefit of doing this is as LinkedIn's algorithm expands and improves and gets to the point as, maybe someday Facebook's algorithm is, they'll get to the point where putting in more data or giving it more leeway will work to your benefit. Facebook is famous right now for many marketers saying, give it a really broad target and then let its algorithm do its thing and hone in on your conversions. And it actually works better if you give it a bigger audience to play with. And I get that to a degree. And that's why in this group, like I said, semi-controversial, but working with a group that big, I have found that LinkedIn, it's based on active users. It only serves ads to people that are active. So if you have a smaller group, you're going to pay a higher cost per click because it can only, depending on how active the user is, depending on how high profile or valuable that user is, you can improve your cost per click by finding reasonable ways to widen your audience. And now I would exhaust a lot of other options before I decided to use audience expansion though. And that is my take.